What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Turnpike Titans podcast. We've been absent a couple weeks. We took a little bye week ourselves. I wasn't feeling well, whatever the case may be. Who said that the Titans cannot win four straight? The last one being without a goddamn offensive touchdown. Who said we can't win that way? I know I didn't. I didn't say it. I thought it, but I never said it, and I apologize for not saying it. But here we are. Tennessee Titans beat the Indianapolis Colts for the fifth time in a row by a final score of 19-10, as the Titans improved to 4-2, improved to being top of the division, and improved to being a juggernaut in this AFC conference, at least on one side of the ball. So let's dive right into it. I'll let you start, Jarrett. Initial reactions of the impressive victory by the Titans on Sunday.
I wouldn't get too far ahead of being impressive because I'm always the positive one. So I'm going to spin it back on you and pull a you. But we are 4-2. We ran, two straight wins while we were away. But again, the thing that lacks is the offense. This defense is the stronghold of this team, and it's going to continue to be the stronghold of this team. But we're still being outgained in every single game that I just looked at on the offensive side of the ball. We cannot put up points. We cannot score more than 20 points per game, and it's just getting to be a nuisance. And we're ranked statistically in every single category on offense, 31st across the board, and it's going to catch up to us. But the play and the grit of these guys, man, Vrabel's got these guys going, dude. You saw it with Ben Jones after the game with Vrabel and everything. They love playing for Vrabel. Somehow he gets it done as a coach of this team and putting the right guys in the right position. But they got to make some moves at the trade deadline to get this offense to spark. So hopefully that happens next week.
Vin?
Yeah, I mean, not to, completely piggyback off of Jarrett, but a lot of the same. I've been saying since day one of this season, the defense is going to be the strong point of the team. I said, I think the first podcast, top 5, 6, 7 defense. I know you guys looked at me like I was a little crazy. Maybe not Jarrett, but Sal definitely did. But as long as we have Simmons and Bayard, we're going to continue to be, a force to be reckoned with on defense. Bud Dupree makes all the difference in the world when he's on the field. I would love for him to continue to be on the field. And it's neither here nor there, but it really makes you wonder what this defense might look like if we also had Harold Landry as well. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, we've turned out 4 straight since Jared and I had their funeral after week 2. It's nice to win. It's tough to get excited about them, to be honest, because you almost feel as though this formula that Vrabel has basically said in his pressers, this is the ball we're going to kind of have to play with the personnel that we have. It's hard to believe that we're going to make noise in the playoffs. Eventually you're going to have to score points. Eventually your defense is probably going to bend a little bit more than you would like in December and January, when you have to play the Buffaloes, when you have to play the Kansas Cities. It's going to be difficult. So unless a few things break our way, listen, I don't wish injury on anybody. I really don't. But unless a few things break our way, it's going to be hard to make serious noise. So we're going to need a little bit of luck. But hey, you never know what can happen. We're 4-2. We are extremely well coached in the sense that our personnel, I don't think, would be doing this well with any other head coach in the league. Vrabel is a player's coach, yet he demands respect in the same breath. I've said it the last pod or the pod before, he's not going anywhere. So we can bitch and complain about the lack of, responsibility he takes for the offensive play calling. But without him, I think we'd be in much deeper trouble than we are currently. That being said, I don't think we're going to make a move at the deadline, just for the fact I think John Robinson's a little gun shy after all the moves he's made have just kind of not worked out. And I think he's scared to make another move to only not work out again. But I mean, I don't think you're going to throw DJ Moore on this team and expect the offense to pick up. Honestly, I'd rather try and find an offensive lineman to go after, but I don't think that you're just going to put a player on a team who has no continuity with this offense or this quarterback and expect for it to turn around. I think what we see this offense doing is what we're going to continue to see it to do over the rest of the season. And we got to hope for the best. We got to hope we stay healthy. We got to hope 22 stays healthy. I don't know what the word is on 17 yet, but if we're going to continue to win this way, we're going to need the players that we have. So, Sal, go have your weekly aneurysm.
No, there's going to be no aneurysms today. It's just, you can't, you really can't, especially, like you guys said, if you're going to keep winning, slowly, it's going to be tougher for me to blow up and lose my shit because, the team's winning. Are they one of the worst teams above 500? Yeah. I mean, it's not a matter of being an asshole saying it. It's just factual. You look at all the stats, they're bottom 5 in offense. They're bottom 5 in a lot of defensive categories as well. I'm sure the Buffalo game has skewed those stats just a bit, but even still, there's still a lot to be desired. We know this. We're not going to pretend it's not the case. But I'm very proud of the team in general. I'm really on both phases, because as terrible as Todd Downing is, and he is terrible, and we'll get into again how terrible he is in a little bit, but as terrible as he is, the cards were stacked against his team offensively, and they did as much as they could with the abysmal play calling that they were given. Hooper with incredibly tough catches. Derrick Henry doing his thing again, over 100 yards like he does every single week against the Colts. And they trucked along. They did what was necessary. I don't blame the players as much as Downing is not being able to punch it in when they were in the red zone a couple of times. Obviously, Ray Dunes had that awful penalty that took us out of a chance of going for it on 4th and short. But again, this team won, and this team is 4-2. Essentially almost putting the Colts to damn near to bed already in week 7, which isn't amazing, because now that we have the tiebreaker over them and a game lead, I mean, it really, and they still have a ton of tough games coming up. They're benched their quarterback. I mean, everything is just falling into our laps as far as winning this division is concerned. Jacksonville's losing again. Houston's one of the worst teams in the league. So it's really tough for me to get upset. But with all that being said, like you guys said already, where is this team going to go? We're here for one reason. We're doing this show for one reason. Talk Titans football and talk about what we got to do to win a championship. That's the only reason we're doing this. If we didn't want that, we wouldn't be wasting our times. And what do we expect to get from this team in January with the roster it has on offense? I don't understand how anyone could say anything else than nothing. Because if you're really going to believe, again, that Derrick Henry's just going to take us to the AFC Championship and or Super Bowl, when the difference is this time he doesn't even have anyone as a threat wide receiver at all to help him. I mean, it's lunacy. That's what you think. So, Vin, you mentioned how you don't think J. Rob's going to do anything. I understand your thought process there. But, I mean, if we don't, you're waving the flag on the season. We are. Because unless Traylon Burks comes back and he is fucking Randy Moss, they are doomed. Because again, we're let's look at what's taken place. We played one really good team so far after 7 weeks. We didn't expect it to be this way, but it is. We played one very good team in 7 weeks, and they smacked us. Every other
The
game,
Giants are pretty good too. I mean, we lost to them.
The Giants are the same predicament as us. They're a very well coached football team, and scheme wise, they're very sound. But with that roster, the same roster as last year with Joe Judge, they're fucking 0-6.
Well, I'll tell you this:
or 1-5.
I would love Wan'Dale Robinson right now on this team, though.
I've watched a lot of Giant football this year so far.
Me too.
They are incredibly creative.
Oh, absolutely,
give them that. Their scheme works, and that's why not only is their roster a little bit better, but they're scoring actually, and they actually score in the second half. They have trouble in the first half, and then they turn it on and say, you know what, it's time to score, and they score. So yeah, they're in the same predicament, and I'll give you that, Vin. Yes, they're a very good team. They're a very good team that we should have beaten if we had, maybe anyone else but this fucking guy who is playing very well now. And I'm talking about Bullock. He's playing very well.
Don't say it too
I'm
loud.
not going to say it too loud, knock on wood. But again, he's got to make a sub 50 yard to win an opening day. So we're not going to get into that. Anyway, point is, the gauntlet's coming. We didn't expect the Raiders to be pretty shitty. We didn't expect the Colts to lay down essentially both weeks we played them. All right. We expected possibly the Washington game, was going to be, it was close. But anyway, things have changed since week one, what our expectations are. So we got incredibly lucky, running into some teams that we thought were going to be good and really aren't now. But the real deal's on its way. All right. And I don't need to start bringing up the names, but the real deal's on its way. And if you think you're going to go into those games with this wide receiver core, I mean, it's laughable that that you're going to assume we're going to be able to handle business just based off defense. So, Jared,
I understand where you're coming from with like the gauntlet. And you know what? In the beginning of the season, I would be 100% with you on that. But right now, the fucking Packers are struggling. The Bengals are struggling. All these teams are coming up that are struggling. Houston's
The Bengals look like they're getting their feet
somewhat catching stride. But I mean, look at all these fucking teams in the NFL that we thought were going to be good. The Raiders, the Broncos, all these guys. Everyone's struggling at this point.
Here's the thing, though, Jared, and I understand what you're saying. But if we can't score any fucking points,
no, I'm down with you with that.
All right, Aaron Rodgers will beat us. Joe Burrow will beat us. Okay, I know our defense is great.
There's no question.
We can't score fucking points.
No.
Last week we couldn't score points in any quarter. So
where
we're not even gotten past the part that we can't score in the second half. Last week we didn't score fucking at all.
That's where I'm coming at. We've been outscored and outgained every game so far, and we're not gonna go anywhere. That's why I said it's gonna be a wave of the flag of the season. Us three guys can see that. The other Titans fans, they say, 4-2, you guys are spoiled fucking jerk offs and everything. No, we see the big picture.
Of course. I mean,
the fucking big picture.
You got to assume Russell Wilson will be back on the 13th of November to play us. Okay. Before that, Kansas City, then Green Bay, then the Bengals, then the Eagles. 2 weeks later, the Chargers. I mean, and then Dallas. Guys, this will crash down and burn. And then we still will have a race with the Colts at the end of the year. I mean, if we don't try to take care of this, we're not going to be able to get rid of Downing. There's no way around it. We all got to settle for it. But we can go get a wide receiver that isn't on a practice squad, that might require a first round pick, that might take some capital to get, but you know what you're getting. I went on the radio yesterday and I talked to the guys and they said, I don't know if the Titans would want to invest another first round pick in a wide receiver. And I said, I don't call it an investment because you're not investing is you're putting money into something and hoping it grows. No, I don't want to invest in anything. I want to guarantee. I want to take my capital and put it towards something that I know what I'm getting for. If you get Jerry Jeudy, you know what you're getting. If you get Chase Claypool, you know what you're getting. If you get DJ Moore, you get Elijah Moore, you get whoever the fuck else named Moore, you know who you're getting. You know what you're getting. So that's why I think it's worth it to give a first round pick instead of taking another spin of the wheel, whether it be on an O lineman or a wide receiver, and you don't know what you're going to get. Go use a pick and get what you know you're going to get. And I got to hope that he does this in the next week because the deadline will be a week from
Tuesday,
a week from today. So time will tell. But overall, I'm very happy. Defense is elite. Nobody can argue that. Even you guys got guys like Adams coming in, getting a pick six, an incredible jump on a pass. Dupree is out of this world when he's healthy. Let's jump into our favorite topic of the week, and that is the quarterback. And then we'll talk a little bit about the other situation that took place. We saw a guy we thought we were never going to see. Then we saw him, and it was a nightmare. But let's start with 17. Vin, tell us your thoughts and your grade on Ryan Tannehill for this week.
I'm gonna be as consistent as I always am with him and give him a solid B. B for balls. Kid's got some fucking Gajis on him. I could clearly tell he was banged up in the latter half of that game, but did what he needed to do. And you got to give him credit because more now than ever, he's really playing with limited resources. I mean, his personnel has changed every year since he walked in the door, from having AJ Brown, Corey Davis, Khalif Raymond, Jonnu Smith, and then Julio Jones, and no Khalif Raymond, and no Jonnu Smith, and just tight end after tight end, Swaim and Fursker, and just so he's got the shit end of the stick in regard to having continuity within the personnel on the offensive side. But now more than ever, I mean, this guy's playing with fucking scraps here. I mean, just fucking scraps. So I give him a lot of credit for sticking in there, taking his fucking licks. And, you look at the guy's record since he's been our starter. You look at our record in the AFC South. It's very, very impressive. But I still believe at the end of the day, he's at his best, a top 10 guy, at his worst, 15, 16, 17 kind of guy, so I just think with what we have around him, it's going to be extremely difficult for him to, win us games on his own. We're still not letting him use his legs really. Now, God forbid, we don't know what's wrong with him. He's really not going to be able to use his legs like we would like him to. But, the kid shows balls, and he's our quarterback for better or for worse. And, as much as I, would like to see, a receiver on this team in the likes of Moore or fucking, who else is out there? Claypool. I don't think it's going to happen. I think, we're stubborn in that sense where we're not going to upgrade the receiving core. And this kid's going to have an uphill battle the rest of the season. Hopefully he doesn't bite us in the ass and, get himself even more hurt than he already is. But give him a solid B. Kid's got balls, he's quarterback of this team, one of our leaders. So, I know that's like very political answer and just kind of, don't want to say anything too disparaging or hype him up too much. It's just kind of very fair to middle with him, but that's just the kind of player I think he is. So, Jarrett,
I'm gonna have to agree with you on the B part. I mean, the stats aren't there, but the guy's a warrior for sure. I mean, you could see it in the fourth quarter when his knee gets fucked up and he's literally handing the ball off to Derrick Henry on one fucking leg. He could hobble in the backfield.
do we have an update on the injury?
Not yet. It's gonna come out tomorrow on Wednesday. But even the throw to hoop, he was on one leg. He shifted into the pocket to the right and threw that ball to hoop. So I mean, like you said, the stats aren't there, but when he has the stats, he is close to a top 10 quarterback in my opinion. And I think he's one of the best. You guys can laugh all you want, but he's one of the best Titan quarterbacks, I think, in the history, next to Steve McNair, me and toughness.
Well,
He's
not a huge
very
pool to
reliable.
pick from. Just saying.
I know, but he's very reliable. He has never missed a start before, and he's tough as fucking nails. So, I mean, I appreciate what he does. I've always stuck up for him on this show, and I think he gives us the best chance of win. So,
I agree. I mean, I'll tell you, I'm gonna give him an A-. Believe it or not.
This show goes from this way to this way every week. It's fucking amazing.
I'm not back on the train by any stretch. I don't think he's winning us in a Super Bowl by any stretch, but I'm giving him an A- because he had one fucking leg. His leg is fucked up. Like he got rolled over on and he grabbed his knee. That's never a good sign. So his leg was fucked up, and he said, "I'm going back in. I don't care. I'm gonna do my best to help the team win." And I gotta give the guy a lot of credit. I'll say my 2 cents on him, like I've probably done a numerous amount of times. He's never going to be a top 10 guy, in my opinion. Okay. Cause again, he doesn't evade tackles well. He's not an incredible thrower on the run, at least not anymore. He might've been decent, 4 years ago. But he doesn't have the intangibles that all the other top guys do now. So, I can't give him that, label by any means until I see something different, and I haven't seen anything different. But I'm giving him an A- because it takes a lot of grit to get back in there and finish the game and win the game. And that throw to Hooper was incredibly important, obviously. So I'm going to give it an A- just based on what cards were stacked against him and how he was able to use them and get the victory, because we needed him to get that victory definitely in the later stretches of the game. So A- for Ryan Tannehill for the first time of the year, which I'm very happy about. Excuse me. So let's go on to the next thing, which everyone and their fucking mother has a what's the word, opinion on. And I think it's incredibly gray, but everyone mostly thinks it's black and white. right? So when Tannehill gets his knee fucking blown up, we bring in Malik Willis. He hands the ball off. Okay. I didn't think there would be anything wrong with him rolling out right, looking for a guy open or running. But that's not even the biggest issue about this whole thing. Is the fact that when they brought him back in to create some kind of wildcat, they thought they were going to do an end around handoff sweep to him. And I just think that was an unacceptable play call for a kid who has no real experience taking a ball like that. And you're just putting him in a position to fail, which is just a not smart thing. And everyone was so quick to just bury the kid. Oh, it's a bust. Oh, he's a bust. He couldn't fucking grab a handoff that Tannehill didn't do him any favors with anyway, by the way. It was essentially like, as soon as the ball's in your area, I'm letting go. Okay, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to hold on to the ball until the guy's got it. But anyway, people were freaking out. Like, how could you expect anything else from this kid, so on and so forth. But I was disgusted with the play call. What did you guys think about the little bit of number 7 that we saw on Sunday?
I mean, you literally should learn your lesson from the fucking 2 times that we've done it already. Because the first time with Chig, the jet sweep was a fumble. Treylon Burks, I think, was a loss of 5, and now you're going to do it with your other rookie for another fumble. So scratch the jet sweep out of there. The 3rd and 6, I believe, when Malik Willis came in,
9,
whatever it was.
Yep.
How about an RPO? Why a simple handoff? Just see what he has a little bit. I wouldn't even say throw the ball, but utilize his legs a little bit. That would confuse the defense. So I mean, there's really nothing really to touch on besides that. But
I'm gonna say that play call was about as irresponsible of a play call and decision that Todd Downing could have made at the moment. Know what Tannehill was dealing with. So God forbid that this kid doesn't fumble a handoff and gets fucking cracked by a linebacker, by a defensive end, by a safety, by a cornerback. And now what? Then you got the fucking Logan Woodside or the fucking ghost of Steve McNair. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck was that? I mean, he's just like, I don't know if he's just trolling us with this.
Yeah, I think
seems like it.
Or he honestly thinks that these are like creative and, intuitive play calls, or is he just fucking with us? You want to run a jet sweep, you run it with a player like when we had a Khalif Raymond, a fucking guy with some burners who just needs to make one man miss and he's gaining 15, 20 yards. You're running it with our fucking defense, our tight end in week 2 or week 3 that was fucking abysmal. You're running it with I don't have no problem with them running it with Burks, it didn't work. But what made you think that was a good decision to run a jet sweep with our backup quarterback who we might need to use going forward?
I got the answer for that. You know why? Because we have no other fucking skill position players that is capable of doing it. That's why.
Vrabel half-heartedly admitted it on the press conference when he was asked. He said, "Did you do that because you were kind of short on position players?" And he's like, "Yeah, a little bit." So it doesn't make it right. It's still just an abysmal call.
Irresponsible is what it is. Because I mean, we might need this kid for at least the next week or so going forward, depending on what's going on with Tannehill. And not saying that play's going to fuck with his confidence at all, but I mean, how irresponsible could you be? I would rather you run a jet sweep with fucking anybody but him, to be honest. Like, what the fuck made you think that was like a good idea? And I'm not mad at the kid. He fumbled it. It looked like Tannehill might have got stepped on when he was handing off the ball. He stumbled for sure.
He also lost one leg right at that point too.
Which makes it even more irresponsible because if something happens to Malik Willis on that play, and now you have no backup, and you're hoping that Tannehill can make it through the game and going forward, then what? If Malik Willis gets hurt there and Tannehill can't get back in, then what? And you're fucking running Wildcat with Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. It's just extremely frustrating. I don't like wasting my breath on Tom Downing because we know what he is at this point. I'm just gonna say, like, you felt like a disappointed parent. Like you know what you're stuck with, even when your kid's a little fucking stupid. Well, you hope that they like have gotten smacked on the ass enough to know that like how to act a little bit, and they continue to disappoint. And that's what this fucking guy is. I mean, just a stupid fucking play call, irresponsible. It didn't work. I'm not mad at the fact it didn't work. I'm mad at the fact that you put this kid out there to dry, basically. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Um, you
let's
know,
let's get into the situation that we have to deal with this coming week, and what your thoughts on it are. I think mine are pretty cut and dry. The more I think about it, the more I think it makes sense. It really looks like, if nothing else, Tannehill's leg is not feeling great right now, and it's not going to be feeling great for quite some time. So if that is the case, I think this is as optimal of an opportunity as you're going to find to give the guy a chance to rest, heal up, and in the process, kind of see how far along your backup, your quote unquote quarterback for the future, has progressed so far, being in the league almost half of a season, and give Tannehill the opportunity to rest and play a really terrible team. Now, obviously every game is important, every single one, and this is still a divisional game, and it's on the road. But if you're going to put Tannehill out there and he's 60% with a chance to be less than 60% moving forward, that's not going to do you any good, especially with the next few games coming up and the one of the biggest of the years coming up after this one. So I personally think absolutely 100%, no matter what Tannehill's status is as the week goes on, you should sit him this week, let him fully heal up, play Malik Willis, see what he's made of. I know they're not going to let him throw more than 6 times anyway, but see if he can get through an NFL game without making any mistakes, without fumbling, and see if you can scrape by a victory with him, and then have Tannehill 100% for Kansas City. So that's my thought process. I know some people are like acting as if we couldn't beat fucking, Montclair State University with Malik Willis because he's just so unprepared.
are they playing Liberty?
They might. I don't know. Like they could, but people are acting like we couldn't beat anyone with Malik Willis because he basically doesn't even know how to pick up a football, let alone throw it. So I don't know what those people's fucking brain cells are doing, but either way, I think there's a no-brainer. I think you should start him and get Tannehill healthy for Kansas City. Jared, what do you think?
I mean, I somewhat agree. I hear where you're at, but like, I want to see how this goes. Obviously, you want to have Ryan Tannehill healthy for Kansas City and everything else for the rest of the year. So, I mean, this would be the perfect opportunity for him to start against Houston, to get his feet wet, a simple game plan, a lot of RPOs with him. And I mean, design plays specifically for his skill set. And, those are obviously different from Ryan Tannehill. So I don't know if they have that scripted in the script, which I hope they do. So if it is his time this week, I'm you're gonna hear this for the first time. I fully back it. And I thought I'd never fucking say it. But he still has a lot to prove to me. So this would be the first week
to
go up on the Richter scale for me.
I mean, I think you have to start him. I said it on the last pod. The most frustrating thing about having an early bye week is now it looks like Tannehill, unfortunately, is going to have to manage this injury the rest of the year, in order to be healthy for the playoffs. Knock on wood, should we get there? But I mean, yeah, this is by no means going to be an easy game. Houston beat us last year. There's a few games that they lost that they were definitely in. I don't care who you are in the NFL. I've said it. You let bad teams hang around, they're still NFL teams. They could beat you. And by no means is this 4-2 team the best 4-2 team ever. I mean, we can be beaten by Houston. Let's not get it twisted. Damian Pierce is going to be a real running back in this league. Cooks is a real receiver. Davis Mills is maybe not the future in Houston going forward, but certainly capable of making certain throws. So by no means will Houston be a walk in the park for us. But to be honest, it really doesn't matter who we're playing because we need Tannehill healthy in the playoffs. So no matter who you got, I think Malik Willis needs to be starting this week. And it's really not about kind of seeing what he has. It's more about getting Tannehill healthy, in my opinion, because let's be honest, we're not going to expect the world out of Malik Willis. Even if he plays well, it's, you might get Sal on here next week saying he should start the rest of the way. But I think this move right now is about Tannehill's health and not seeing what you have in Malik Willis, because what he does this week is going to be no indicator of the player he's going to be going forward. We're going to need much more than a 1-game sample size for us to say that, okay, yeah, he's great. Let's throw him in there, let him start long term. So I think this move is more about Tannehill. Let's see what the injury is. Hopefully it's something that he can come back from in a week or so. But it's unfortunate that we're probably gonna have to manage this injury the rest of the year. But yeah, you got to start Malik Willis, and I'd be a little excited. Let's see what he's got.
A little,
yeah,
just a little
excited.
He
got in that Buffalo game. He looked like he used his legs a little bit in that Buffalo game. So
they didn't let him throw unless it was third and long. So that's a tough sample to use.
The whole thing is, like I said, if we're gonna start this kid, just to see what he has, and Tannehill is not 100% healthy, you have to have a play script. It's not like Tannehill has, because they're totally two different quarterbacks. So they have to go off script, and they have to do what is best for him.
Yeah, they got to play him like Lamar Jackson. That's what they need to do to start off.
RPOs, they have to throw on the run, they have to roll out, and instead of sitting in the pocket and let this kid try to dink and dunk, because that's not his game.
So my concern is, and I think, and I mean this sincerely, I truthfully believe that this organization is somewhat concerned that if they do let this kid play and he extends plays, he steps up in the pocket, he evades pressure, and he starts throwing some dimes, forget about the fan base. Now, you can hold your head all you want. You watch the preseason. He had some serious glimpses of just sheer athleticism and quarterback talent. If this kid shows up and starts slinging the rock, they might be worried about how Tannehill is going to play after that, because we know there's some mental problems there that he needs to see a fucking shrink to get over that disastrous playoff game.
I almost fucking saw a shrink after that.
Well, yeah.
I did see a shrink, all right? So fuck both of you guys, all right? After that playoff game.
I didn't for the shrink's benefit. I looked out for the shrink. I said, I'm not going to put anybody through that. So I decided not to. But there has to be some level of concern by this franchise because of their quarterback that is not mentally, sharp as iron, that if Malik comes in and he slings the rock for 275 with 2 touchdowns on a team that is having issues getting in the red zone, let alone scoring, Tannehill might be fucked up mentally when he comes back. We already know he can't fucking evade a sack to save his life. If this kid starts evading sacks, I mean, it could really have some serious weight on his head. I don't care about anybody's sense. All right. So
I'm not saying a word. I need to see what happens on Sunday if this happens.
I get that. I understand that. But don't forget, they really didn't let the kid throw in a Buffalo game when they were getting blown out. They were like, all right, just hand it off 2 times. And then, we got nobody covering for you. So you'll have to run on third. But if he plays Houston and he shows some serious promise and they win convincingly, which they really haven't done all year yet, maybe you could say this game last Sunday. Outside of that, they don't won a single fucking game convincingly against pretty bad teams. There could be some serious concern about, Tannehill's mental capacity when he returns. So I hope that's not their mindset. That's a terrible way to look at it. But it seems like a no-brainer. You got to make sure this guy's healthy. He needs to be the guy starting for the remainder of the year, and he's not healthy. His leg is pretty fucked up. You're playing one of, if not the worst team in the league. Get him in now, let him rest, and then you have him back for prime time Sunday night. I mean, it's a no-brainer. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure somehow, miraculously, Tannehill will be okay, and you'll see him limping around practice. But I don't understand why you don't take this opportunity to rest a guy that's clearly injured. Right, wrong, or different. We'll see how that plans out. Another thing to keep a tab on, which nobody really talks about. Hopefully, we'll get Nate Davis back this week, which we have not had for 2 straight weeks. Actually, it might be 3. No, it's only 2 weeks. Only 2 games he's missed. But he's huge, man. I mean, he for an offensive line that's really bad, to have a guy like that back who you've seen can block consistently, it should really help out this line, whoever they're going to be covering, blocking for. So that should definitely help things open up a little bit in the pocket for whoever's throwing to get some time, because that's just, their whole offensive line has been an absolute nightmare. And
I will shout out Petit Ferrer, though. That is,
he's one of the shining stars.
He's played phenomenal this year. So if anything comes out of this draft class, at least it looks like he hit on that one. So
finally, he picked 1 out of 15 fucking tackles that are worth a shit. I mean, Nate Davis too, but
if you're on the line, you can't forget about Ben Jones, man. That guy fucking popped his
Ben Jones, absolutely.
He popped his fucking kneecap out in the middle of the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's just a fucking warrior. Hasn't missed a game for us all either.
Yeah.
He's the anchor to that line.
He's an underrated Titan for sure. He's really slowly becoming a guy that deserves to call this place family for a while. You bring your head coach to tears after a game, you're doing something right. And that's what he did. I mean, he plays and plays and plays. And when he gets hurt, he goes back in. And he's really a pretty fucking good center, all things considered. The one spot you rarely see Tannehill have to worry about, is his nose, in front of his face. So he's been consistent for us for a long time. And he just personifies what this team's all about and what that city's all about. So definitely big props to Ben. So let's just quickly get into this game coming up here. We already touched on it, obviously, but bearing that we don't know who's going to be playing quarterback, whoever is playing quarterback, what are your keys to success against this 1-win Texan team that should really be handled easily? Jarrett?
Just contain Pierce and just get after, like we're doing on defense, just get after Mills, because, he's not that mobile. And just try to find the consistency on offense, whether it be Tannehill or Malik. Just in the air game, you found something with Austin Hooper last week. Throwing to him, getting him more involved. Hopefully that helped in the bye week. More with Robert Woods. Just to take the load off of Derrick Henry a little bit. And how about getting Hilliard involved more on screen passes? Because I think he leads the league in average for running backs per catch, per route. So I mean, just start getting creative. I don't understand how they don't see it. And we see this by just reading fucking stats online, and we watch it every Sunday on our TVs. We try to be offensive coordinators for this team, but these guys that are getting paid millions of dollars, they can't fucking do that. But we'll see.
Vin?
I want to get a lead and keep a lead. I want to stay ahead of them the whole game, not let them creep back in. Obviously we kind of know what the formula is going to be, no matter who's at quarterback, Willis or Tannehill. We're running the ball. So I think we got to create turnovers on defense. Get after Mills, make them uncomfortable. Like Jared said, contain Pierce, but I want us to get an early lead and let this be an easy victory for once. That's what I want to see. I want to go up 21-3 at halftime, and at the end of the game, it's 35-10.
Not gonna happen.
I want to
maybe with number 7 in there.
Yeah, definitely. But I want to get an early lead. I want to keep it, and that's what I want to see. I want to see an easy fucking win for once.
Here's the last thing I'll say about Malik, just to give everyone some glimpse of hope, because I know you two have next to no faith in him, and
I got a little more than Jared.
Certainly not many fans do at the moment.
I have a little bit.
All right, here's one thing that he can do that Tannehill cannot do, right? There's a 3rd and 4. The pressure comes. He steps up and runs. He could get a first down. It could be a game-changing first down that leads to points, whether that's 3 or 6 or 7, whatever the case may be. He evades pressure. Our quarterback does not evade pressure at all. That adds a large element to any offense. So I think he's got an advantage just in that. I've said it a million times. His ability to run when pressure comes is a giant asset to an offense that we do not currently have. And nobody's going to tell me, you look at Tannehill's stats right now, that after 6 games, Malik Willis couldn't give you that stat line. No one's going to tell me that. Okay. I'm sorry. You're just not. How many touchdowns does he have? Like 7?
6. And it's just all managing games. It's all he's doing.
Okay. He is. He's man. But nobody's going to tell me Malik Willis can't manage a game because he is an athletic freak. And
no,
again,
we will tell you that he can't manage a game because we haven't seen it yet. We don't know if he can manage an NFL game for 4 quarters.
Like I said, there are a plethora of fans that act as if this guy has next to no skill at all. Like literally is a century away. We're going to be dead before he has an opportunity to be good as a quarterback in the NFL. There are a numerous amount of fans that feel that way. I don't know why or how. Could be reasons that we can't talk about. I don't know.
I just think I want to see it with this kid before I start, believing in it. I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability. All I'm saying is the reason why a lot of people in the fan base are, kind of up in the air about him is because we haven't seen it yet. And he didn't go to a school where we saw him against the lead of competition. So,
but we did see
he has the ability. I want to see him put it together at the NFL level for an extended period of time.
We did see him evade sacks in preseason. I don't need to see it against first team, second team, whatever the case may be. Guys were sprinting at him, and he was able to evade tackles, get 4 yards, get 5 yards. That I already know I'm getting that out of him. And if nothing else, that is a benefit to our offense that we don't currently have. So no one's going to tell me that he can't complete 57% of his passes, throw for 135 yards a game with maybe a touchdown. I mean, really, let's just be honest with ourselves. Ryan Tannehill's stat line is pure shit. Whether it's because of the offensive line, whether it's because of the wide receivers, that's all fine and good. Doesn't mean it's not shit, because it's shit. And no one's going to tell me that Malik Willis, after 6 games, if he was the starter from the jump, I'm not saying I wanted that or I currently want that, but no one's going to tell me that like Malik Willis couldn't come in against the Commanders and throw for 120 yards and a touchdown and, win that game. I mean, no one's going to tell me that. Tannehill is not making anyone better around him. He's managing the game the right way. He's making a throw here and there, and they're winning because they have an elite defense that makes plays on the last play of the game every fucking week. That's why we're winning. So I think everyone just needs to at least have a little bit more optimism for the kid. I'm usually the biggest pessimistic piece of shit on the earth. But I've seen enough in preseason to know, if nothing else, this kid can evade a sack, which is huge. If that gets you a yard, if that gets you 2 yards, 3 yards, it's better than losing 5 or 6. So I think it's a no-brainer. You play him this week. You give the fans a little sight of what they have to look forward to. You figure a way to win a fucking easy, what should be an easy game against Houston, or a game that we should be able to dominate up front defensively, and then you reevaluate. Obviously, putting Malik on prime time against the Chiefs would be a really unfortunate thing, and we don't want that. But you want Tannehill 100%, and you have an opportunity to give him that by playing the kid. So we'll see how things go on. Again, I don't think they're going to play him. I have a gut feeling that no matter what, if Tannehill can walk to the center, to be under center, they're going to let him play. We'll see. What's bigger, in my opinion, is what we're going to do with this trade deadline. It's coming a week from today. I don't, waiting till
I think we're going to make a move. It's not going to be for a receiver, though. It's my.
Well, Vin, I know what you were saying, and I was going to try to butt into the conversation while you guys were, in the beginning. I understand the offensive line, and I tweeted it. It needs to be a wide receiver, and it needs to be offensive line. There is zero. Vin, we're fucking 31st in all categories on offense.
I'm with you. I would love a receiver. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I know what you're saying, but they need to just try to get somebody that has the ability to catch the fucking ball. Not these practice squad guys. Just go throw a third at somebody. Go throw a fucking first. I don't care. We need to get somebody in there that can extend the field. I know there's rumors with OBJ, but that's clickbait shit. I'm not even getting my hopes up for that. But like, go after the DJ Moore. Obviously, he has he has cap a cap hit a 6 million this year, 20 million last year. That's an AJ Brown mistake. They're basically saying, oh, we fucked up by not paying AJ Brown, but they need somebody on offense because they have all their wide receivers are hurt, and you can't rely on Traylon Burks and Kyle Phillips, obviously, at this point in time. So, I mean, before it gets worse, we need some positive.
Yeah, I'm with you. If I had to pick, I would go with DJ Moore. I think Claypool is a bit of an asshole from what you read out of the shit that comes out of Pittsburgh. Don't think he's a Titan kind of guy, Vrabel kind of guy. Elijah Moore, I don't think's getting traded. I just think he's being a fucking baby, which I hate the sense of entitlement. This guy's second year in the league, and you're not catch touch, so you want to get traded. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I think if it's going to be anyone, it'll be DJ Moore. That being said, I would love it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to make a move. I got a weird feeling that we're going to continue to add this to this defensive line and maybe go after a Robert Quinn or something like that.
Who's having a pretty shit year, so I really don't get that, but.
I think we're going to continue to add to our strong points on defense, and I don't think we're going after a receiver.
What do you think? Because there was rumors. I know going on to the defensive side of the ball, but I'm going to get to wide receiver. There was rumors of Bradley Chubb. Do you not even go after that? Obviously, with the lack of production right now with Weaver, and obviously Harold Landry was a huge skill set point, and that we lost.
I mean,
you still have that loss on the defensive side on that.
I'm a big believer in adding as much defensive line talent as possible. You look at a lot of Super Bowl winners. The Eagles' defensive line was fucking stupid. The Bucs' defensive line was fucking stupid when they won. The Patriots were always big up front when they won. So I'm a big believer in it's the third most important aspect of your football team. You need to be able to get a quarterback, protect your quarterback, and then go after the opposing team's quarterback. So I'm all about adding as many defensive linemen as you can to a team that already has it as a strength, because that's where you really fucking drain the will out of other teams, is getting after them on the line and winning in the trenches.
Back on the wide receiver thing real quick before you guys tell me who you guys want. Do you guys even give a shot at Brandon Cooks, even though he's in the division with Houston?
Yeah,
they won't trade him to us.
They would never do it
for that reason. No, I mean, I wouldn't mind it at all, but they won't.
I love it. He's everything you want. Everything this offense lacks.
He's the most traded wide receiver in NFL history, I think. And what does Houston have to gain right now? They're dead last in the fucking division. They're going nowhere. They're not going to build around the guy that's on the latter part of his years. Why not try to go after him?
I mean, yeah, maybe they would.
Would that make sense?
Maybe they would. I mean, listen.
I mean, it would make sense for us, not for them. I don't. How often do you see player traded
money draft picks for them
within the division? I just don't see it.
They're already out of it though, and I think they would probably understand that this is not going to be a long-term thing. It's going to be a short-term.
Yeah,
they're already out of it anyway. But here's the bottom line, and I know you mentioned it's clickbait and whatever. I mean, the smartest thing to do here is go get Odell. That's the smartest thing, because here's why.
When's he going to be ready to play though?
All signs are pointing to, if not this coming week, then the next week, around beginning of November. That's what I've heard since the season started. Now, I don't know that for sure, but assuming that's the case, it's the best move for your money, for what you need to do, for everything.
Of course it is right now, but like
the best option. Now, are they going to do it? Of course, they're not going to do it. They're not. And really, it just really side note, the bullshit clip we saw today, won't bring up the names, but it was a bad look. Like, people were saying it's evidently a full-blown troll, prank, whatever. It's just a stupid look. It's a stupid thing to do.
Luan is a fucking asshole. We all know
but
that.
Listen, I'm going to play devil's advocate. He's boys with Vrabel. Do you think he would do that? Honestly,
yes.
He didn't have an inkling.
Yes. I think he's a fucking asshole. Don't have much else to do on his fucking hands right now. And, I can't wait to get that motherfucker out of this city, dude. I'm
I don't
so
know.
done.
I'm not going that. I'm not going to go that deep, but it's just a bad look. Two guys very tightly associated with the team and the fan base, on a team that is just so piss poor offensively, and you're going to make a rumor like that just to like be funny. I don't know. It's just a stupid look. If it happens, I'll be the first one to apologize.
I won't apologize because he's a fucking asshole, but
Vin won't apologize. I don't know how you could be talking so much shit wearing a run left hat, but that's besides the point. That's besides the point. Bottom line is this team needs a wide receiver. Of course I love more fucking edge rush. Of course I love O-line help. And I think O-line would really help a lot. But again, once we get Nate Davis back, I think it's not going to be as bad. I think it's going to be manageable. I think he's going to have enough time to make something work. Now, what he does with that time is what's most important. If he's going to continue to be throwing to Cody Hollister and Nick Westbrook-Akina, and who the fuck else knows else, we're not going anywhere. They need a real guy to pair with Robert Woods. And then Treylon Burks is the greatest wide receiver 3 in the history of the NFL. So you got to do it. I am so sick. And everyone wants to talk about J-Rob being nervous. Do you remember any other trades he's made midseason outside of the fucking guy from the Chargers at the time? He plays on Houston now.
Oh yeah, the safety.
The cornerback.
James, right? No.
Yeah. No, that's Derwin James.
Not Derwin James. Fuck, what's his name?
The cornerback.
The corner. Yeah. Desmond King. Desmond King.
King.
He's never made. I don't think he's ever made a midseason trade ever. And Christ almighty, if this isn't the year to do it on a team that is really just very, very close to having, again, the pieces in place to make a run at this thing. You got Derrick Henry back to his old self, running people over. Tannehill's managing, whatever. You got the defense that's fucking elite again. You got corners that are doing their job. You got pressure up front. You need a pass catcher. You need a threat. If you're going to want to go toe-to-toe with the Buffalo Bills in January, in Buffalo, which is where you're going to have to play, in Kansas City, where you have to play, where the fuck are we going with Robert Woods and Nick Westbrook? And then, fingers crossed, Treylon Burks will give you 60 yards. Where are we going? Nowhere. It's cut and dry. It's black and white. There's no gray area. Take your first round pick. Stop spinning the wheel of fucking Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune and go put your pick somewhere where you know what you're getting. You know exactly the minute they step on the field what you're getting. You know what you're getting with Jerry Jeudy. You know what you're getting with DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, Elijah. Maybe not Elijah Moore. He's still really young. I think he's really good, but we don't really know if he's really good yet. But all those other guys, OBJ, you know what you're getting. Get the guy, throw to the guy, change your offense around. Give Derrick Henry some help. Don't be so fucking predictable. And then the sky's the limit. And then maybe Tannehill can do enough. Maybe he can do enough, but not with this, not with these weapons. Not going to happen. So let's go to this game prediction. I guess for sake of discussion, we'll just act as if Malik Willis is going to play. I guess. So let's say Malik Willis plays. Score predictions. Jarrett?
I don't care who plays the score prediction, whether it's 17, or 7. It's going to be 20 to 16 us, because again, we can't score more than fucking 20 points in a game. And the offense needs to show me something for me to go over fucking 21 points per game. So the defense holds strong against David Mills. We hold Pierce under fucking 60 yards, I believe. And I think we get after Mills. So,
all right.
24-10.
24-10. Right to it. Right to it.
Always
right to it. 24, that's generous. Really, really generous. I hope, God, I hope 24 would be great. I don't know what half it's going to come in. Hopefully it's split up. For me, I'm going to assume Malik plays. I think it's going to be 13-7. 13-7. We're going to run the ball 50 times. Okay. We're not going to let the kid throw more than 7. It's going to look like a Mariota stat line. That's what it's going to look like.
Don't leave him out of this.
No, I mean, we did the same thing with this kid.
Leave this poor fucking guy out of
No.
this.
Well, that's what we did with him. And that's what they're doing with him in Atlanta. He gets fucking 8-9 attempts a game. He's got to run 16 times, and they don't let him do what made him a second overall pick, which is just ridiculous. But they're sticking around. They made it close at Cincinnati, whatever. We're going to do the same thing with this kid. I'm just telling you right now. If he plays this week, he's going to throw it maximum 10, 11 times. He's going to be handing the ball off on 2nd and long, 3rd and 6. He's going to be handing the ball off. We're going to treat him like he's a fucking moron who can't comprehend how to make a play. And we're just going to try to get by like we always do. So, and until Todd Downing lets his nuts hang just a little bit and says, hey, let's throw the ball down the field once. I don't want to hear about the O-line, okay? And there's been plenty of videos that show why this team really shouldn't have an opportunity to throw down the field. I get that. You want to show a highlight of Tannehill getting blown up? All right. Yeah, we know that happens, but it doesn't happen on every single play, okay? There are times you might be able to get a look and take a shot, and we never do it. So until I see anything different from our scheme rather than let's do just enough and be conservative as often as possible, I can't see this team scoring more than 13, 14 points. So that's my prediction. I think defense will dominate again. We'll get pressure. We'll create, a lot of havoc for Mills. Our corners are great. I think they'll be able to hold up Cooks and company. So 13-10 or 13-7. That's what I said, right?
Mm-hmm.
13-7 final, and it will come down to the final play as always. So that's going to be my fucking prediction. We, as always, fucking did an hour in what felt like 10 minutes. So we will wrap up, and hopefully next week we have a victory to talk about. We have an addition to talk about. We have some more Taylor Lewan bashing we can do next week as well. I'll be back off Tannehill's bandwagon. I want nothing to do with him. Jared is going to hate Malik Willis again, and we'll have plenty more content to come into next week. But
hopefully the Phils are on their way, baby.
Yeah, like I said, because it's the Astros, I will root for them. But outside of that, they're just a menace to society. Pretty much anyone who wears jackets like that, they're menaces to society.
I'm looking like the fucking third base coach right now.
Yeah. You look like you're about to boo Santa Claus. That's what you look like.
Always. I'm gonna throw a battery at that motherfucker too.
But anything else to close out with before we go? Vin, Jared, you want to talk about our excellent new additions, CJ Board and Chris Connolly, those guys? Those borderline Hall of Famers.
Play a fucking sound football game. Get the fucking win. Show some guts and please put a full fucking football game together for us so we can talk about something exciting next week instead of a boring ass offense.
All right, Vin. Anything else to add?
Oh no, not much to say. I will welcome the two young gentlemen to our team. Listen, we threw Adams on this team. He had a pick 6, so.
Thanks to Bud Dupree, but yeah.
Only can you pick up only as a Titan could you make an impact like that off the waiver wire. So who knows? Maybe we caught a diamond in the rough with one of these practice squad guys.
I'm gonna bash my head against a fucking.
Yeah, I mean the Titans have a knack for making civilians' dreams come true, and that's what these guys are. They were fucking picking up the paper at 7-Eleven last week, and now they're on a pro football roster. So
yeah, they reached out to me, but I can't pass a physical right now. So
yes, yeah, I was on the roster last week, but you guys didn't see me. I was actually massaging Tannehill's leg once he got down for the remainder of the second half, so didn't get to get in the game. But all right, we're gonna close out, guys. Make sure you check us out as always on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whatnot. We're trying to do big things. We help you get subscribe, the whole 9. And as always, tighten up.
Tighten up.
Malik the Freak. Let's get it, boy.